Good evening, everyone. 大家晚上好，这是早上好。我们就开始诵观音菩萨圣号，要上读。我们在观世南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨。观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世菩萨。We will continue to discuss the Sutra in 42 sections. Today, this will be lesson 21st of this Sutra. 那我们今天会继续讨论十二章经。今天这个已经是我们第21堂课。我们还是一样，先宣称释迦牟尼佛。So let's say the Shakyamuni Buddha saying. Homage to our founding teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Homage to our founding teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Homage to our founding teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Homage to the Shila Assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Homage to the Shila Assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Homage to the Shila Assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. 无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme Lord Sutra and profound. that is encountered even billions of years. And I see and hear it except that holy. I truly understand the Buddha's spiritual meaning. And we didn't have class last week. It was because the Earth session. 我们上礼拜没有上课，因为摩城这边在打几张期的关系。2个礼拜前，我们是讨论的第36章，然后讲转或是我们是从第12章跳过来，因为这2章是讲的困难的事情。So we didn't have class last week because the association here today. 2 weeks ago, we discussed the section 36, talking about the sequence that leads to success. This is talking about 9 difficulties. We finished section 12. There are 28 difficulties, and jump to the section because this is also talking about the difficulties. 我们把这个复习很习惯。We'll recite the Sutra text as a way to review Chinese first. 大家合掌。佛言：人离恶道，得为人难；既得为人，去你其难难。既得为难，六根完去难。六根既具，生中国难。既生中国，持国事难。既持国事，遇道者难。既得遇道，信心难；既信心，发菩提心难；既发菩提心，无修无证难。In English, the Buddha says it's difficult for being to leave the lower realms and become a human being. Even if the being does become a human, it's still difficult to become a man rather than a woman. Even if he does become a man, it's still difficult to have all the 6 sense faculties. Even if the 6 sense faculties are complete and perfect, still difficult to be born in central country. Even if he is born in a central country, it's still difficult to be born at the time when the Buddha is in the world. Even if he is born at the time when the Buddha is in the world, it's still difficult to encounter the way. Even if he does encounter the way, it's still difficult to bring forth faith. Even if he brings forth faith, it's still difficult to resolve upon body. Even if he does resolve upon body, still difficult to be beyond cultivation and realization. So that's it for this section. We'll go through each of them briefly. The title of this section is called translating the outline, the sequence that leads to excellence. And I think the translation is success. It can be excellent as well. It's step by step from non-human to become human and go on to become a Buddha. 那这一章的章名的辗转获胜，这个胜利可以说是胜利，也可以说是殊胜，就是一步一步的就越来越殊胜的意思。Another way to interpret the title of the section. 那第一个就是离恶道得为人难。And the first one is difficult for being to leave the lower realm and become a human being. So the human form is not easy to obtain。这个人生是难得，要珍惜这个人生。这是上文的解释。他就讲说，这个三恶道里边呢，我们来做人的，就像掌上的土那么多，不能得到人生，还在三恶道里的，像大地土那么多。This is a Venerable Master explanation. He said that beings who can leave the three lower realms, talking about hell beings, ghosts, animals, and become humans, not like the third in his hand. And those who remain in the lower realms cannot obtain human body, unlike the third on the earth. Quite a different. 那下一个就是记得为人，去你极难难。The next step is even if you become a human, it's still difficult to become a man instead of a woman. 你得到人生了，但是你要当个男人，也是不容易的事情。上文在这边解释说，这个是对欢喜做男人的人来说的。你喜欢做男人，但是你做不到，是不容易。做女人也不容易，也不是件容易的事情。So this author's commentary, what's being discussed here is the point of view of someone who loves to be a man. You may want to become a man, but it's difficult for you to do that. It's also difficult to become a woman. 那当然，我们在古代是重男轻女，而且我们讲过，就是成佛一定是要男生才能够成佛，所以这为什么会这么说？In the old days, the men people prefer men. Men has a higher status than women. And besides, in Buddhism, to become a Buddha, you need to be a man before you can become a Buddha. So women need to become a man, then can become a Buddha. 接下来就是说，记得为难，六根完全的。The next level is you are a man now, but it's difficult to have all the six sense faculties complete and perfect. 那其实讲说，一个人这个六根呢，眼耳鼻舌身意都很没有欠缺的话，功能都很正常，那也不是件容易的事情。So these are the six sense faculties: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And it's not easy to have all the six sense faculties functional. So there are people who are blind, who are deaf, and etc. So we need to cherish that we have the perfect six sense organs. 然后有的人就是生下来就是盲聋喑哑都有，所以我们有六根完全，我们是要珍惜、庆幸。那下一步就是六根气去生中国难。这里讲的中国不是指的，我们现在讲的 China 中国。这个因为这个是印度佛陀讲的话，他讲的是中印度。So the next step is, even if you have the six sense faculties complete and perfect, it's difficult to be born in a central country. Talking about central India, and it's because the Buddha was in the central India. Chinese reads like China, but it's not really China. So this is the Sutra spoken by Shakyamuni Buddha, and he was in central India. That's what you say. 那接下来呢，寄生中国执佛是人。你升到中印度以后，你要碰到佛在世，那也不是件容易的事情。So even if you are born in central India, it's still difficult to be born at a time when the Buddha is in the world. For example, now the Buddha is not in the world. Even if you are born in central India, the Buddha is not around. 就像现在佛不在世，印度涅槃，印度有很多人，是在印度，但是佛并不在世。接下来就是既执佛事，遇道者难。Now, the next step is even if you are born at the time when the Buddha is in the world, still could encounter the way. 你身在佛世了，佛也在世，但是你能够碰到佛法，也不是件容易的事情。So even if Buddha is in the world, you are born at that time, but it's not for sure you'll encounter the Buddha Dhamma. 接下来就是记得遇到信心了。The next step is even if you do encounter the way, it's still difficult to bring forth space. 你碰到了佛法，但是你对佛法有没有信心？能够有信心的也容易的事情。So even if you encounter the Dharma, it's not for sure you will have faith in the Dharma. 接下来就是说信心发菩提心呢。The next step is even if you have the faith in the Dharma, it's difficult to resolve upon body. 你对佛法有信心，但是你是不是能够发菩提心？能够发菩提心不是件容易的事情。等一下会讲到什么是菩提心。So even if you have faith in the Dharma, it's not for sure you'll make a resolve upon body. What this means is become a Buddha. We'll see that in next time. 这边我们谈过这菩提心，什么是菩提心？菩提心是求正觉的心，正觉就是成佛的心。So that's from the Chinese dictionary talking about what's body resolve. So the resolve you want to attend to realize right awakening means become a Buddha, okay? And like the Buddhahood. 是菩提心。那全名其实应该是阿耨多罗三藐三菩提心。The complete term should be Anuttara Samya Sambodhi resolvefulness. 那我们讲菩提心就只有最后两个菩提。It's prettier to just take Bodhi at the end. 那这个阿耨多罗三藐三菩提就是阿耨多罗是无上，接下来有正等正觉，就是佛的开悟觉悟最高的觉悟。So Anuttara means unsurpassed. 三藐 correct. Somebody is enlightenment or awakening. 正觉就是无上，没有比这个更高的正等正觉。So this is the highest enlightenment, Buddha's enlightenment. So when you say you bring forth the body resolve, that means you have decided, you have made a vow, you want to become a Buddha. 所以发菩提心就是说，你已经发心你要成佛。成阿罗汉、成菩萨都还不是成佛，成佛。 So the body resolve is you have decided to become Buddha. Becoming an arhat or becoming a bodhisattva is not body resolve, strictly speaking. 那接下来既发菩提心，无修无证难。The next level that even if you have made the resolve to attain body, still difficult to be beyond cultivation and realization. 那这个无修无证呢，就是你已经没有东西可以再修了，也没有果位可以再证，所以你已经是到了成佛了。前面你是发的菩提心，你要成佛，对不对？发心要成佛，那还没有成佛，那这一步，最后这一步就是说你已经成佛。So this what called the beyond cultivation and realization is a level where you have nothing more to cultivate and no more creation to realize. Means that you have become a Buddha. So you have become, once you become Buddha, there's nothing more for you to cultivate. There's no more fruition for you to realize. So the previous steps say you resolve upon body, you make the resolve to become a Buddha. You haven't become a Buddha yet. And this is the final step, you become a Buddha already. So it's not easy to become Buddha. I think everybody knows that. So these are the section. So this is again the list. You will read it in Chinese. I don't think I have English. 那我们把这一章再念一次。佛言：人离恶道，得为人难；既得为人，却离其难难。既得为难，六根完全难。六根既具，生中国难。既生中国，持佛事难。既持佛事，欲造者难。既得欲造心，信心难。既心信心，发菩提心难。既发菩提心，无修无证难。So this is the first step. You become a Buddha, a human. It's not easy. And become a man. It's not easy. You endowed with the 6 sense faculties. Not easy. Born in central India. It's not easy. You born at the time when Buddha is in the world. Not easy either. You encounter the way, the Buddha Dharma. It's difficult to encounter Buddha Dharma. It's difficult to have faith in the Dharma. It's difficult to resolve upon body, resolve to become Buddha. And finally, it's difficult to become a Buddha. So these are the steps. We call this step by step. 所以这个就是一步一步的，从得人生来成男人，然后六根完具，生中国，中印度，生在佛世，然后碰到佛法，对佛法有信心，发心要成佛，最后成佛。So these are the for this section. And I do have this. Okay, sorry. 这个是英文翻译，我以为没有找过来。So that's how we start 2 weeks ago. 就是2周前我们就这边结束。 接下来我们回到第13章。So we'll return to section 13. 第13章这个问道宿命 title is Inquire about the way and past lives. 我们来看看读经文。Let's read the Sutra text, Chinese verse. 沙门问佛，以何因缘得知宿命，为其知道？我言：静心守志，可会知道。The Shamana asked the Buddha, by what causes and condition can I know my past lives and understand the ultimate way? The Buddha said, by purifying your mind and persevering your resolve, you can understand the ultimate way. 譬如魔镜垢去名存，断欲不求当得宿命。Just as when you polish a mirror, the thirst vanishes and brightness remains. So too, if you cut off desire and do not seek, you then can know past lives. 那这个就是一个出家人的弟子问了佛陀，怎么样能有宿命通？他想要有宿命通，还在问佛陀说要怎么样，什么因缘才能够得到宿命通？然后慧其知道，这个慧上人解释就是说是了解、知道，是最高的道，等于是佛道的意思。So this is a monk disciple asks the Buddha, how can I know my past lives? He won't have the spiritual power to know the past life. I think the Chinese is not just limited to his past lives. This is just one past lives, but this can be other people's past life as well. And also understand the ultimate way, the highest way. 那佛陀讲就是说呢，静心守志，静心你要清净你的心，守志这个是你的志愿呢，你要守着你的志愿，这样子的话你就可以了解到这个知道。The Buddha answered, purify your mind and perceive. Spirit, right? Is this the right spelling? Doesn't look like right. Persevering your resolve, you can understand the ultimate way. So you need to purify your mind and keep your resolve. And hold on to your resolve. Then you can understand the ultimate way. 佛陀就给了一个譬喻，this is an analogy，就是说，譬如磨镜，你磨镜子，垢去了名就存。这个古代的镜子不是像我们现在的镜子，现在镜子是玻璃，然后里面是水泥。过去没有这些东西，用的是铜镜。那铜镜你要去把它磨烂，去磨以后才有光亮，它会生锈。你要把那个锈磨掉，所以锈就是垢。你这个锈磨掉以后就变成光亮，镜子就亮。So the analogy is like you polish a mirror, and the dust vanishes, brightness remains. In the old days, the mirror is made of copper, and it becomes rusty easily. and you need to polish them to remove the rust. And so this the dust is the rust. Once the rust is removed, then the mirror become shiny. 那么接下来呢，断欲无求，当得宿命。你把那个欲望断掉以后，没有欲望了，那也不去求，不去追求任何东西，那你就会得到宿命通。So the Buddha continues to say that if you cut off desire and do not seek, you then can know pastimes. And these are related. We'll see later the Buddha will explain how they are related. 那这个是一个譬喻，这个怎么样连接在一起？接下来我做一个上人的解释。所以这是上人对这一章的一个摘要。这一章呢，说人怎么样能够得到宿命通？你要会道，你明白道了，你就会得到宿命。这是这个解释。其实它也许是两回事，一个是得宿命通，另外一个是明白道，是两回事。So this section helps people to gain knowledge of past lives and an understanding of the way. So the master said that if you want to know your past lives, you must understand the way. 所以开始以和因缘得知宿命。为其知道 So this is the beginning of the section. And what causes the condition? Can I know my past lives and understand the ultimate? 上面就讲了，这个会道就是明白道。那因缘呢，其实就讲说你怎么样去修行呢，才能够知道，才能够有宿命通。才能够明白真正的道理。So, how do I practice so that I can attain the knowledge of past lives? And how can I understand true principles? It's the ultimate way, the true principle. 佛陀的具体答案呢，就静心守志，可谓之道。So the answer is the Buddha gave us by purifying your mind, persevering your resolve, you can understand the ultimate. 清净你的心啊，守着你坚固的志愿。你发什么愿要守着。So this is Master's interpretation. You should make your thoughts pure, purify your mind, and guard your resolve. This means that firmly keep your resolve. Whatever vows you make, you should uphold them. 这个志的志愿。你有什么志愿，你要保持着，不能够丢掉，存起来的都不可以才发的愿，过了几天又不算，把这个愿撤回来是不可以的。So the master said that you can make it your vows and then forget them after a couple of days, and you can withdraw your vows. 你如果能够静心守志，把自己的黑暗 是你的妄想，是你的贪嗔痴的去的，守住自己这个志愿，自然就会明白真正的道。真正最高的那个道，像是那个譬喻 ，if you can purify your thoughts and get rid of the darkness in your mind, just talking about the four thoughts, the three poisons, you can persevere with your result, you will come naturally to understand the true way. 所以上文这边讲的时候，你要静心，就是你要把心里的妄想呢，有这些贪嗔痴、是毒啊，都除掉，然后还要守住你的志愿，那自然你就会明白的最高的道。So that's first you need to purify your mind and get rid of four thoughts and greed, hatred, delusion, and those keep your resolve. Then you'll be able to understand the true way, the highest way. 譬如魔镜垢去名尘，断欲无求的寿命。The Sutra says, just as when you polish a mirror, the dust vanishes, brightness remains. 这个很清楚的，就是说你磨镜子一样，这个没有尘垢了，镜子就明亮。那你这个镜子明亮了，就等于你看清楚了，就是你可以看到过去的，过去式。So like cleaning the mirror, dust the mirror. When dust is gone, brightness of the mirror appears. And the brightness refers to the understanding or knowledge of past lives. 断欲无求，长得寿命。So too, you have to cut off desire and do not seek. You then can know past life. 你把欲念断了，无所求了，什么东西都不求，那样子你就会得到宿命通。You can cut off your desire and reach the level of not seeking anything or anything. Then you attain the knowledge of past lives. 今天上面讲到我们的修行，重要就是我们能修到要没有一切杂念，没有妄想。So the master, the commentary, and we cultivate the way. We should not indulge in any scattered thinking or false thoughts. 你要是能够没有妄想，没有杂念，那不管你修什么法门，都很快会成功。If you can do away with false thoughts and scattered thoughts, then whatever Dharma method you practice, you'll quickly succeed with it. 所以这边讲了这个什么法门修什么法门没有关系。最要紧的是说，你不要有妄想，没有杂念。你如果能够没有妄想，没有杂念的话，你不管修什么，都会很快的成功。So this is important that it doesn't matter what method you practice, so long as you don't have full thoughts, no scattered thoughts, then you'll quickly succeed. They realize the way. 那反过来呢？你如果有很多妄想、杂念、贪嗔痴， 装满了都是你的。那你不论你学什么法门，也都不会生命。So in contrast, if you have four thoughts, scattered thoughts, greed, hatred, delusion, filling up your belly, your stomach, then you won't obtain any response, no matter what you practice and you cultivate. 所以我们学佛的人呢，一定要先断欲去爱，把欲念先断了，就什么善也不求了。So when you cultivate, first thing you should cut off desire, cast out emotional love. Once you have ended your desire, then you will no longer seek anything. 因为你有所求就是苦啊，你不论你求什么，如果求不到的话，就求不得苦。你上面要留意这个。If you seek for anything, you're really seeking is suffering. No matter what you seek, if you cannot obtain it, you'll experience the suffering of not getting what you want. This is something the master asks us to pay special attention to. 所以上面的强调就是说，一定要先断欲去爱。就是强调了修行呢是修什么 ？So what is that we call it? What do we cultivate? 要把我们的妄想修没有了，欲念修没有了，那就有功夫了。We cultivate to get rid of thoughts and desire. If we can do that, that's a real skill. 如果把嫉妒、障碍、贪嗔痴这个都扫清了、清除以后，那就会得到生命度。Once you cleanse yourself of jealousy, obstructions, greed, hatred, delusion, you'll attain the knowledge from past lives. Then we'll go back to the text here. Okay, without So this is this section. 所以这个问题就是说，要怎么样得到宿命通，然后会了解到、明白到最高的道。So the question is, how do we know our past lives, right? And how understand the ultimate way? 佛陀的回答说：静心守志。你要清净你的心，把贪嗔痴啊这些断爱欲啊都要清掉，要干净掉。然后你要把你的志愿要好的看着，要放掉。这样的话，你就会明白到这个最高的道。那明白这个最高的道的话，你就得到宿命通。So you need to purify your mind first. Okay. So get rid of all thoughts, desire, emotional love, greed, hatred, and delusion, and also keep your resolve. Then you understand the ultimate way. once you understand the ultimate way, you'll be able to know your past life. 那这边的或者就给譬如魔镜啊，过去名存，断业无求当的说明。是这个 knowledge. Just when you polish a mirror, the dust vanishes and brightness remains. So too, in the color of desire, you do not seek, then can know past life. 所以一个面镜子，你把它灰尘啊，的那个锈啊磨掉以后，这个镜子就光亮。它这个是个譬喻，断欲无求。这个断欲的欲望，这个就等于是灰尘锈一样。我们会讲的就等于你的心，你要静心啊，你的心像一面镜子一样。那有的灰尘，有的锈。那什么时候会是那种锈？就是这欲爱，你能够把这欲爱除掉了，那个心境就亮了。然后再加上不追求任何东西，那你就会知道过去神有生命痛。So this analogy is mirror as an analogy, and our mind just like a mirror, and it's covered with all the desire for thoughts. That's why our mind is not shining, right? Just like a mirror is covered with dust and rust, then it's not shining. So we need to remove and get rid of desire and all those defilement, and you do not seek. Then your mind mirror will shine, and then you'll know the past lives. Okay, so that's the end of this section. 那第13章就到这边为止。那接下来是第14章 ，and we'll move on to section 14. Move this down. 这一章的上面有请问数善大，就是弟子请问佛陀，善和大是两个事情，一个是善，一个是大。So this section, someone asks the Buddha, what's goodness and what's greatness? It's two things. Read the Sutra, and then in 经文。沙门问佛：何者为善？何者最大？佛言：行道守真者善，至于道何者大？Vishwana asked the Buddha, what is goodness? What is the foremost greatness? The Buddha said to practice the way and uphold the truth is goodness. To unite your will with the way is greatness. 所以就是同样的，就是一个沙门弟子问了佛陀，什么是善？什么是最大？ So the monk asks the Buddha, what's goodness? What's the ultimate, almost greatness? The Buddha said, you practice the way and uphold the truth is goodness. And to unite your will with the way is greatness. Here, this Sutra got translated into will. I think early on, in the previous section is vow, aspiration, I think, the way is greatness. 这是上人的对这一章的一个评论。这一章就是说明善，什么是最善？就是真正的修行。你真正的去修行，那是最善的事情。对，正的、真实的理，就是正的真理，这是最大、最伟大的事。 So nothing is better than genuine cultivation. Nothing is better than it. And you realize the true principle is the foremost greatness, the almost greatness. So the 这是上人的解释。你修行真的佛法，这就是最好的，但是不要求旁人做到。Cultivating the genuine Buddha Dharma is doing the very best thing. Don't follow cult practices and religions that live outside the mind. 那什么是真正的佛法？不自私、大公无私、光仁无。So what's genuine Buddha Dharma? It's being unselfish, public-spirited, and letting go of views that discern between self and others. Can see this blocking. This can also be interpreted as no self and others. 就是上来那边讲的，就修真正的佛法是最好，这是最大的善。那什么是真正的佛法？没有很高深，不自私不自利，大公无私，把人我都忘掉，没有人我的区别。So, since cultivating the genuine Buddha Dharma is the best, what is the genuine Buddha Dharma? It's very simple and nothing profound. Being unselfish, being public spirit, letting go the views discern between self and others, or just there's no notation of self and others. There's no difference in your mind between you and others.不要有一个自己，要没有自私心、自利心，一举一动都是行为上利益众生。Should not have an ego. You have no self. Should not be selfish or seek for self-benefit. If you don't have self, of course, you won't be selfish. You won't seek to benefit yourself. In every move you make, you need cultivate the Bodhisattva way, benefit sentient beings. 就是你没有自己的，要没有自私自利心，你没有自己，自然就不会有自私自利的心。那你一举一动都是在利益众生。So you want to forget about yourself and benefit others. 你自己明白了，也要教人明白。So 你得到的利益，也要其他人得到利益。不是自私自利的，那这样就是最善。So however much you understand, you teach others to understand that much. When you obtain benefit, you let others obtain that benefit as well. And to be unselfish, seek no personal advantage, is the greatest goodness. 就是说你不要自私，你自己明白了，你要教人家明白。你得到利益了，得到好处了，你也希望别人能够得到好处。也就是说，你不自私自利，那能够这样的话就是最善。那不自私自利就是最善。So whatever you understand and you teach people, and whatever benefit you obtain, you share that with other people. In other words, you are unselfish and you seek no personal advantage. And this is the greatest goodness. 守真就是守真理，要守虚妄不实在的那种话。修行要明白真理，不明白真理，那就不是守真。守真这才是最好的。To uphold the truth means to uphold true principles, not to uphold false and unreal dharma. In cultivation, we must understand true principles. If we don't understand principles, then we are not upholding the truth. 因为经文里头要谈的守真呢，所以上面在这边就在解释这个守真是什么。行道守真者善。什么是善？就是行道守真者善。守真就是守的真理。修行呢，明白真理，不明白真理，不明白真理，那不是守真。So the Sutra text says that you need to uphold the truth. Practice way, uphold the truth. And uphold the truth. In the truth means to uphold true principles. We must understand true principles. If we don't understand true principles, then we are not upholding the truth. Upholding the truth is the best thing. 那接下来讲就是智与道合者大，因为这边有两个问题，一个是什么是善，什么是大。前面就是解释什么是善，行道守真是善。现在要回答就是什么是大，智与道合者大。So there are two questions in this section. The first one is what is goodness? And we just finished the discussion about what's goodness. As you cultivate the Buddha Dharma, the right Dharma, and uphold the truth. That's the goodness. Now now we're going to talk about what's the greatest thing. It's greatness. Unite your will with the way. It's greatness. 上面的解释是你的志愿，你修得到呢，而为一，你证得圣果，比如说你证阿罗汉果，或者行菩萨道，证得菩萨，这是最大的。When your will and the way which you cultivate can unite as one, you can realize the creation of a sage. Like an aha or bodhisattva, and that is your foremost greatness. 你的志愿和你的道是道是合者合为一，那这样的话，你就能够证得圣果。证圣果就是最伟大的事情。So your will here is aspiration of your vows, and the way become one, and then you can realize sagehood, and that is the greatest thing. So this section is kind of short. Let's go back to. This章很短，就是这么几句话。So that's the section, very short. 两个问题，对不对？什么是善？什么是罪恶 ？Two questions. What's goodness? What's foremost greatness? 你回答是行真守真，行道守真者善。行道你就修行啊，修行佛道，守住真理，那就是最善的事情。你要修行的是佛道正法，然后守住真理，这是最善的事情。To practice the way and uphold the truth is goodness. This talking about the right Dharma, you practice the right Dharma, and uphold the truth is greatness, goodness, blessing. 那志与道合者道，你的志愿和道和佛法相合呢，而为一，那是最伟大的事情。所以你的志愿和佛法能够合为一，你就会证圣果。那证圣果，所以是这个最伟大的事情。So your will unite with the Dharma. This is talking about that when your vow or aspiration become one with the Buddha Dharma, you become a sage. And becoming a sage is the greatest thing. That's what it's talking about. So 所以在刚才上来讲说，真正的修行是最善的。So Master said the genuine cultivation 是最善的事情。Genuine cultivation is the best thing. 然后证得真实的理，你证到这个理，那就是这个要证圣果，证圣果是最大的。Is realizing true principle. It's beyond that. You need to become a sage. become a sage, then it's the greatest. Mm. 行道就是有真正的佛法。什么是真正的佛法？不自私不自利啊。So the cultivate the king of the Dharma is called the practice the way. He's talking about that. And what's the journey of the Dharma? Not selfish, self-benefiting.这个就是刚刚我们讲的志与道合者大，你的志愿为修行的道合为一，就真圣果，这是最大的。这个 When your vows or will and the way Dharma become one, then you can realize sagehood. That's the greatest thing. Okay, so that's the section 14. Then the next section is longer. Let's talk about strength and brilliance. So two things. 第15章呢是比较长一点，同样的就是两个问题，一个什么是力，一个是名。Okay. Let's read the text. 沙门问佛：何者多利？何者最明？佛言：忍辱多利，不怀恶故，谦加安见。仁者无恶，必为人尊。心垢念净，净无瑕秽，是为最明。无有天地，大于今日，十方所有。无有不见，无有不知，无有不闻，得一切知，可谓明矣。In English, Vishwana asked the Buddha, what is the greatest strength? What is the almost brilliance? The Buddha said, patience under insult is the greatest strength, because people who are patient do not harbor hatred, and they gradually grow more peaceful and strong. Patient people, since they are not evil, will surely gain the respect of others. When the mind's defilements are completely gone, so that the mind is pure and untainted, that is almost brilliance. When there's nothing from before the formation of the heavens and the earth until now, in any of the 10 directions that you do not see, know, or hear, when you have a 10 omniscient, that may be called brilliance. That's the section. So, 两个问题，多力就是说力量很大，最大的力量。什么是最明？最明亮、最光明？什么是最有力？忍辱。忍辱就是说忍辱最强。什么原因？因为忍辱的人不会怀恶在心，谦加安见，平安健康。能够忍辱的人呢，他不会做坏事情，所以一定人家会尊敬他。这个到这边为止是在解释多力，什么是怎么样会很力量很大，就是你要忍辱。接下来就讲到什么是罪名。心垢灭尽，你心里的垢呢，都除尽了，就是心都清净了，净无瑕秽， 一点瑕疵都没有，污秽都没有，这是罪名。因为你心像一面镜子一样，没有尘埃。未有天地大于君子，就是天地还没有形成之前，直到现在，十方所有的东西，没有一个你看不到的，没有一个东西你不知道的，没有一个东西你没有听到的。说你得一切智，就是你得到一切的智慧，可谓明，是这个可以说是最聪明，对不对？最明亮，很清楚。So 2 questions here. What's the greatest strength? And what's the almost brilliance? The answer for the first one, patience, is the greatest strength. It's because that people, when you are patient, you will not harbor hatred. The Chinese actually is evil, not just hatred. And you gradually grow more peaceful and strong. Those who are patient, they are not evil, and will surely gain the respect of others. So this is the answer for what's the greatest strength. The answer. Your question is be patient, okay? And the rest is explain why patience is the greatest strength. Then this part is talking about what's the almost brilliance. When the defilement of your mind completely gone, and your mind is pure and untainted, it's almost brilliance. And in this state, there's nothing before the formation of the heavens and the earth until now. And throughout the 10 directions, you did not see, you do not know, hear. Yes, you know everything from the past, far away past, now. And you attain omniscience. Omniscience means full knowledge. That may be called brilliance. That should be almost brilliance. 所以这是上人在这一章的一个摘要，告诉我们说，人的力量是最大的，什么最大的力量？那你能够把心的垢完全都心清净自净其心，那你明白的，你是最明白，也最看得最远。所以这个明也可以解释明白。So this section tells us patience is the greatest strength. Then if you can remove all the defilement in your mind, then you have far-reaching understanding. And you see everything, understand everything.这个上人来讲解释这个忍辱多业，你能够忍的话，力量就大；不能忍的话，就没有力量。那忍辱的力量是没有穷尽的。If you can patient, then your strength is great. If you are not patient, then you have no strength. Strength of patience is infinite. 为什么忍辱的力量大？因为不害恶故。就是说，你只有一个善的力量，没有恶的成分在里头，是100%的善。这个力量是没有穷尽，是最大的。So why is patience such a question? It's because when you are patient, you don't harbor evil. You just hatred. Chinese evil. Because there's the goodness. You are patient is a goodness, and this goodness you have contain no evil. So you harbor no evil. It's completely good. Therefore, it's insoluble. It's a strength of goodness, and it's not mixed with any evil at all. That's why the strength is the greatest and it's infinite. 先讲安健。安健上面这边讲的平安健康健全。You gradually grow more peaceful and strong. You become calm, healthy, and robust. 讲到这边柔能克刚，软的能够战胜硬的，弱能胜强，软弱的能够把刚强胜。So then the saying, the soft can overcome the hard, and that which yields can defeat that which is obstinate. 但是继续在解释这个为什么忍辱是多力。就是你忍辱多力的不害恶故，另外加上安健平安健康。那上人这边就加上说，你忍就是等于是个柔，对不对？你不跟人家起对抗，就是柔能够克刚。那你忍就是看起来很弱的样子，能够胜强。So this is continuing to discuss why patience has the greatest strength. It's also you're patient, you become calm, healthy, and robust. Then the master talk about this. When you are patient, you look like you are soft, gentle, right? But you can overcome the hard. And when you are patient, you yield. You can defeat that obstinate. 这边我们可以回去想想那个，你看那个弥勒菩萨的故事，谈过弥勒菩萨的寄送。Here we can review the Maitreya Bodhisattva's verse, his participation. 那他怎么样？他是有人骂他，他说好；有人打他，他就睡到，甚至吐口水吐在他脸上，他也不擦他。所以他是不是看起来很弱？是不是很柔？是不是？他一点都不刚强，跟人家对抗，像一个人弱书生一样。 Remember the Maitreya Bodhisattva, when people scold him, he just say, good, good. When people beat him, he just lie down. And when people spit on his face, he let the spit and dry by itself. So he appeared to be very weak. He soft. However, he was able to overcome the strong. Okay. So this is the example here.一个菩萨虽然看起来是这么柔弱，但是他其实他的力量是最大的，能够战胜这些硬的东西，非常强的东西。接下来就讲说，仁者无恶，必为人尊。The Sutra continues to say that the patient people, since they are not evil, they will surely gain the respect of others. 他们的解释就是说，你会忍，能够忍的人呢，不会去作恶；你不作恶的，就会得到人的尊敬。So the master interpretation for this is that when you are patient, you won't do evil, and that surely you will obtain people's respect. 这边我们也可以这样解释，就是说你能够忍耐的人，人家自然会很尊敬你，是不是？因为一般人没有这个忍耐的功夫。你像弥勒菩萨的例子，人家骂他，人家打他。他不还，口不还嘴，不会还嘴，不还手。那一般人做不到的。人家看到了，他会对他请尊敬，甚至连口水都不去擦。So Maitreya Bodhisattva, no matter how people scold him, beat him up, he didn't fight back. He didn't talk back, scold back. He didn't even bother to try this spitting space. And when people see that, people of course will respect him, because nobody can be so patient. And of course, this patient, people who are patient, we won't fight back. So they don't create evil. 当然，这个忍辱的人，像弥勒菩萨，他不会报复了，对不对？报复就不会做恶事情、坏事情，所以人尊。我想我们就接下来是讲到罪名这部分就比较长一点，也许我们在这边就先停下来，因为时间也会差不多了。So I think we'll take a break here because the next part is longer. Yes. 所以我们把这个再复习一下 ，Let's review this text. 所以上面这个有人问了，什么是多力啊？什么是最有力量？什么是最明？忍辱是最有力量。什么原因？你不会害恶，且安见为人尊。我们讨论的这个多力，为什么是多力？接下来就讲的为什么是罪名，这个我们下礼拜再谈。So 2 questions in this section. What's the greatest strength? What's the almost greatest? The answer for this question is patience. that's the answer. Just be most patient. The following is talking about the brilliance. So I think we'll leave that to next week, and we can pause here, see if people have any questions. 那我们这边停下来，那我们可以讨论一些问题，看大家有没有什么问题。还有就先听下一个问题。There's one thing, a comment I want to. The question as last time. Someone asked a question. To 上礼拜我们有个居士的问了一个问题，讲到这个第12章有20难。Someone asked a question about the section 12, so 20 difficulties. And then these are the difficulties. 那他的问题就是说，在那个西贝塔这是中文的大藏经是大正藏电子版。里头是列了五难，就是20难。So here there are 20 difficulties, and the question was that in C beta, this is Tripitaka, Chinese digital Tripitaka. You can find that, you can download that. And there, only talking about five difficulties. 那这个五难就是在20难里头的前5难，这个不太一样。那么讲是气命必死，这个恐怕有问题。So in the C beta, the section has only 5 difficulties. It's the first 5 of the 20th. These are 20 we discussed in the text. 但是呢，你如果去看它那个在这个大藏经的里头还有一些注解，注解里头就有20难，就和我们讨论的20难是完全一样。这边讲的就是列出前5个来。However, if you go to look the commentary, it's also in the Sipeta. And these 20 difficulties, just like what we have been discussing about. 另外就是龙藏，乾隆皇帝骑的那个大藏经，龙藏也是20难，和我们列的这个20难是一样的。And another very well-known Tripitaka is called Dragon Tripitaka. And that was compiled by the emperor in Qing Dynasty. There are also 20 difficulties. 所以呢，我觉得这个西贝塔里头的42章经有问题。So my conclusion is that the sutra in Sipeta I don't think is correct. 那这里我们就要提到，这个即使是大藏经里头都有可能有错误的地方。所以我们有句话讲说，尽信书不如无书。And so even in C beta, the sutra may be incomplete, may be incorrect. So, and the Chinese is saying that you better have no book than you believe 100% of. The teaching is that don't trust anything completely, and you need to use a wisdom and to see what is really correct. 那就是说，你看经啊，看什么，都要用你自己的智慧去判断，要完全相信 书或者是经，讲到尽信书或者无书了，这是不能讲。所以我们在读上人的解释里头，也不能够完全相信。上人在解释的时候，有时候也会有出入的地方。那我们就是自己要留意，要记得是尽信书不能无书。你觉得有问题的时候，你就应该去查证，看看其他的经典啊、字典啊等等，然后去判断哪个是真的，哪个是正确的。So even the Vener Master commentary, and when you study that, you need to be careful as well. And it's not always 100% correct. And you need to pay attention to what you are reading. If you have a doubt, then you need to look up other sources and then make your best decision and discuss with other people and make a best decision. Don't accept whatever you are reading. Okay, that's the point well to make. 那我想这一点是很重要的，就是我们自己在读经或者做学问，世间的学问也是一样，那都要完全相信你读的东西、你听的东西、看的东西。Okay. If you have questions, you can type in the chat box. 我们如果有问题的话，请大家打在那个聊天室里头，或者是举手。那我先谈谈下礼拜天的讲演。So we'll talk about next Sunday's lecture. 下礼拜天是本者法师要和我们谈这个如何在日常生活中能够亲近身心，很实用的问题。So this is a Bhikshuni, Master Bencher. She's going to talk about how to purify our body and mind in our daily life. It's a very practical topic. 那在上礼拜天，恩言法师在那个 Adam Nicholson 狗会居士谈完以后宣布的那个题目讲题是不正确，这法师后来这2天才改。On Sunday, at the end of Adam Nicholson's talk, Master Kayin announced the topic for next Sunday that has been changed to this new topic. Okay, I think this topic is better for everyone. It's very critical. 我想这个是一个很实际的、实用的问题。那我们就礼拜天聆听这个哲法师的开始。We're looking forward to the Master Zhe's lecture on how to purify our body and mind. Okay. People have any questions, comments? 有没有什么问题的？如果没有的话，我们就回向了，也超过了9点20。No questions, we'll dedicate every moment. 我们今天有中文啊，有没有Chinese in Chinese? 一次功德，庄严佛净土，上报四重门，下济三途苦。若有见闻者， 悉法不尽心，见此一方时，风吹起的鼓。Pause. Okay. Let's stop here. In respect the Venerable Master, Amitabo.